Hello, people of the world watching car camping content on the internet. My name is Drew. This is the 4-Wheel Drew channel, and today I am so excited to share with you not only this beautiful weather in November in the Osceola National Forest, but an updated rig tour. So if you are a subscriber of the channel or if you're new to the channel, go ahead and take a look at my previous video where I went through my original setup and what got me through the last 7 months on the road touring the American West. Today, I've made some updates, I've made some changes, and I want to share them with you to show you what works, what doesn't, and how you can have a frugal, nomad, stealthy setup in any SUV of your choosing. Let's get into the video. So just like in my original rig tour video, we are going to walk around the car starting in the driver's seat, going all the way around clockwise until we get to the driver's side rear door, so I can show you everything that we've got going on, what we've changed, what we've had in. I'm also gonna go a little bit more into detail into how my kitchen is set up, as well as what the heck is in my roof box. I promise it's not dead bodies, I swear. First and foremost, we've got the WeatherTech foil window liners. You can make these yourself out of foil that you can buy on the internet, but I'm not creatively inclined. I didn't have the patience to make them myself, so I paid about 120 bucks to get a full set for every single window in my Sequoia, custom cut and delivered to me. Just saying, I have been very pleased with these. No complaints whatsoever. WeatherTech, you're awesome if you're watching this video. So if you watch the first video, you'll notice this is all the same. Whenever I am parked somewhere at camp, I always keep my driver's side area clean so that if for whatever reason it's clear, it's ready, I can just take off and drive. And with that said, just a little bit of wherewithal of always knowing where you're camping. If you have any neighbors, I have one over there. They seem like nice folks. They're keeping to themselves though. But also you'll notice that my car is parked where I backed in and the road is right here. It's a quiet Forest Service road. I've only seen one car go by in the past 24 hours, but I've got very easy access to just get up and go. Now, with that said, I am the most safe that I've ever felt out here in the woods than I ever do sleeping at a Walmart parking lot, a rest stop, or anything else like that. You are safe out here in the woods, but it's always good to be smart and practice some common sense. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the passenger front seat. Not much has changed up here. So I've got a backpack that usually has my laptop, usually a sweater. I've got a little fleece right here for when it gets cold at night. I've got bear spray. Someone recommended in my last video that I put it in this protector case because of, keeping it in the car. You don't ever want it to accidentally go off. And I am very pleased with this. Let me see if I can undo it. So it's just got foam in it, and you take off the foam and it's right in there. I really like this, and it was super cheap, and it just feels nice, especially when I keep my dog in my car, when I'm sleeping in my car. Like if I need to run into a store, I don't want him to accidentally step on this thing and set it off. Like that would just be an absolute nightmare. So this has been a fantastic addition to the setup. So other than that, I keep my tripod in here. It's not in the car right now, but I'm using it right now to show all of you my setup. So, and then I've got a vinyl steel braided cable that I keep my dog on a lanyard, but I actually have this new system that I use. I just use a retractable leash with a hip holster tied to paracord. And this is a fantastic way to leash your dog up at camp, because then you're not tripping over their leash all the time. They're basically just like hang gliding through camp, and it's super fun. And they don't trip over themselves, you don't trip over them. I highly recommend it. We've moved the CB radio down here because I never use it. I've got GMRS here. I've got this little like $30 Apple CarPlay FM transmitter thing, and it has been a game changer because I can actually like load up like Gaia or Google or whatever, and then also have my phone having a separate satellite image. So this has been super fun to use. And it was only 30 bucks. Like the internet is just a beautiful place, but yeah, that was a great addition, especially if you've got like an older rig like me. Back here, you'll notice things look a little bit classier back here. We've upgraded the space, we've upgraded the furnishings, and I'm gonna break out my tripod so that I can get in there and show you what's going on. Okay, so everyone's gonna do their setup a little bit differently, but I have organized my space to basically make the rear passenger side door like my front door. So this is where I typically get in and out of the car, where I load and unload balto, especially if I don't feel like opening up the trunk. But I'm excited to show you that because I've made some improvements back there too. But let's go back here first. So I always keep a towel just right here on the grab handle. I'm fortunate that I have two, so I've got one up here, but then one right here. And it's just great to have a towel. I can wipe off my dog's paws. I can wipe off my paws if I need to. And then let's get in here so that you can see. So in the back of the Sequoia, we've got this new lovely carpet, which is actually just a carpet that I had in my old apartment a year ago. That I kept in storage, and I was like, why am I keeping this? Why don't I just tear it up and use it? So I think it adds a little class to the space. We've also got some fresh stain on the wood. Big mistake that I made when I first did my build is I did not seal my wood. So over the past 7 or 8 months, it has just like warped and warped like crazy. I had to put some new fresh wood in the back, but fortunately most of it was okay, and hopefully it's not gonna get any worse now that I have a nice polyurethane based stain on this wood. Down here, like little pocket of the door, I just keep some like nice to have things that are easily accessible. So I always keep duct tape easily accessible. And then I've got some lighters, some fire starters, and just like a little piece of paracord down there. Down here is where I keep my shoes. So I've just got a pair of Birkenstocks down there and a stray tool that needs to go up in my roof box. So we'll put that up there in a second. I've got a yoga mat here, and then lifting up this carpet, this is where I have some packing cubes that I just got on the internet, and this is where all of my clothes live, in this tiny little box. Everything that I would ever need to wear, aside from a heavy winter coat, which I don't have with me right now, is right in here. I've got jeans, I've got pants, I've got wool socks, I've got summer socks, I've got tons of pairs of underwear. You can never have too many pairs of those. I've got tons of different shirts, tons of different materials, long sleeve, short sleeve, everything you need nicely rolled up inside of this camper build. Back here, this empty space is typically where Balto's food goes, especially at night. I've got that Tupperware filled with food. I've got his water bowl on top. That slides nicely in behind the rear seat. Down back here, I keep my air compressor. I don't like to keep it in the roof box because the roof box is always locked and I have to turn off my car just to open the roof box, which is great, but I just like to keep the air compressor easily accessible. Back here, I've got a rear door shoe organizer that I actually just thrifted from my local thrift store. One of my favorite additions to this space was this rear shoe door organizer. It's got just tons of little pockets, so I keep poop bags in here, I keep some exercise bands in here, I keep bug spray and sunscreen in here. And then out here, I've just got some extra cords that I don't use all the time, but they're just right there in case I need them. And then I've got my first aid kit also just hooked on to the handle there. That's nice to keep things easily accessible. So up here, you'll see my sunroof is actually converted into an exhaust fan. These are just some CPU fans that I found on Amazon. And then this is just some plastic board that I found at an office store. I cut it to size, and it's run with USB wire. So you'll see there's a little gray wire sticking out there. I have that running all the way down under my bed to my battery. This exhaust fan is super great. So even on a cool night, it can get pretty hot and musty in here, but this keeps things circulating. So if you have a sunroof, I highly recommend just go take a deep dive on YouTube. I'll link some of the videos that I used as my inspiration down below in the description. But I found that this works for me. Most of the videos only have 1 or 2 fans. I have 4. I find that that amount of circulation is good for me. Now, this isn't gonna work as great as like an RV exhaust fan, but for being a stealthy SUV camper setup, this gets the job done. It keeps the air flowing, it keeps things circulating, and it keeps my car from overheating, especially if I have to park in direct sun. Moving on to the back corner of my truck, we're gonna do a more in-depth tour on the things on the other side when we get there. But I just wanna show you, this is where my battery is hooked up. This is where my Starlink is. And then I've got my fridge here, and I've just got it framed out with a 2x4 that I've also stained. This just keeps things in place, and it allows me, if I really wanted to hook some hooks on here and really secure things if I need to. Right here are just my extra rear WeatherTech shades, that way I have them. I also keep a spray bottle in my cabin, just, you know, with some water in it. This is great for just like wiping yourself off, if you need to like wet your hair in the morning, or if you just want to like wash your hands or something. Like just having like a little spray bottle is so convenient for so many things. I highly recommend this. And then back here, I just have a little bit of extra storage. I don't really use it that often, but I do have a little expandable kitchen sink right here. And then I also have 2 DC powered like USB fans right here too. Okay, moving on to the back where the magic happens. Welcome to the back of my Sequoia, and before we get into what's inside of the tailgate here, I want to take a moment to mention this super awesome upgrade that I literally just installed at this campsite. This is a Rhino USA trash bag, an overlanding trash bag. These are typically designed to fit onto like a full-size spare tire, like a Jeep or a Bronco or something that has a tire affixed here. But those straps are super long, so I thought to myself, why can't I just wrap it around the tailgate? Maybe it'll let water in, maybe it won't, maybe it'll fall off, I don't know. But I was super excited. You can go take a look at my other video that I'll link down here in the description, where I walk through how I installed this and how I got it to work, wrapping it around just a tailgate without the spare tire carrier. Okay. So if the rear passenger door is my front door, then I would say that this is like my living room, my bedroom, my kitchen. This is where 90% of my living happens inside of my SUV. So back here, we've got a 6-gallon off-brand jerry can with, and yes, it is 6 gallons, not 5, off-brand jerry can with a little Primo water pump that I picked up at Walmart for super cheap. I've got a new, larger trash can here with a little flip lid so it stays nice and sealed. I used to have a cloth bag that was designed for cars, but I just noticed that the smell would like permeate. So like if I threw food scraps back here, my whole car would smell like rotting food. This seems to keep the smell much lower. If you watched my last video, you'll see that I've actually flipped the fridge sideways so that it goes lengthwise. I've got some books on top now, but I've just got some fresh food in there. And then this drawer right here is my kitchen, and we've made some changes here. If you watch my last video, I didn't have this top on here. So what I did is I took some 1x2s and I framed it into the side, and then I cut just a regular piece of plywood to fit right here so that I have a nice even space so that I can work on my computer on, I can cook food on. This is where everything happens in my space. But let's lift it up and I'll show you what is inside. Okay, so inside here, we've got all of the essentials. I've got a bowl that I can eat out of. I've got a silicone bag that I can store food in. I've got these wonderful like little Turkish towels. They're washable. They stick to each other, so they cling together like a paper towel roll, but they're reusable and they're washable. They're excellent. These are a little pricey. I think they're like 30 or 40 bucks, but you reuse them all the time, so you don't have to keep buying paper towels. These are awesome. And then I've just got a Pyrex that I eat out of. These are my only 2 bowls that I eat out of. So no plates, no expensive camping cookware. This is all I got. I've got a cutting board here. I've got my Coleman camping stove. This is a 2-burner stove. I've got some propane stored here. So I have these little plastic dividers that are great for just organizing and kind of separating spaces in here, because this is a big drawer, and if you don't separate the spaces, all of this stuff is just going to roll around. So this is really good just to organize your space. In this one, I keep just a little spray bottle with a little bit of cast iron soap and a sponge for easy access for cleaning all my dishes. I've got all of my camping like cooking utensils. So I've got knives, I've got a can opener, I've got a measuring cup, I've got a tablespoon measure, I've got scissors, all kinds of fun stuff in here. I've got a fork and a spoon in there. I've got a knife in there. I only keep 1 pot with me. So I boil water in this, I cook in this, I do everything that I need to heat things up in this pan. Then I've got my main cooking utensils. I just have a spatula and a little rubber spatula as well. This little guy right here is my fire starter. This is how I start my propane stove, or if I wanted to have a camping fire, like I've got a little bit of electricity to start that, so that's fun. Okay, so sliding to the back of my drawer, I've got a bigger bin that holds a French press, coffee beans, powdered coffee creamer. Don't come at me. I love powdered coffee creamer, I'm sorry. A coffee grinder, and then just some koozies, which I've never actually used. I just keep them in between the glass jars so they don't clank around when I'm driving. Back here, I've just got some regular spices, some really good hot sauce that I found in Asheville, North Carolina. It's so good, you have to try it. Some cooking spray, and then I do also always keep one single emergency backpacking meal so that if I run out of food, if something's going wrong, or if I'm stuck somewhere, I've got an emergency meal. Also, let me show you my drawer because this is a really cool way to save a little bit of money. You'll notice my drawer does not have any tracks, but what you will see is that it's actually got wheels on the front. So these caster wheels just slide in and out. This drawer can easily come in and out, and I saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. No, I'm just kidding. I saved hundreds of dollars by not having to buy expensive weight-bearing tracks. These can hold as much weight as I want them to. It stays in, it slides really smooth. I highly recommend using caster wheels on your drawer setup instead of tracks. What is behind drawer number 2? Well, there's actually no drawer here because I didn't feel like building 2 drawers. I only built 1. So I figured this would just be a good space to store a bunch of extra stuff. If I want to carry extra water, that goes right here in this space. This is my Tupperware where I have all of like my produce, bread, pantry items, snack items, anything like that goes in here. And then I've got a little Nemo pad if I want some cushion or if I want to just sit on the ground somewhere. And then farther back in there, I've actually got a floor jack and jack stands because driving an old truck, you just learn to keep that stuff with you no matter where you go. This is a good time just to give you a different vantage point. So previously we were back there looking this way. Now we're on the other end looking in. And so this is a nice setup here. You've got a nice big bumper to sit on. You've got the flat surface from the kitchen drawer. You've got the top of the fridge as a nice flat surface. So sometimes like I'll just pop my laptop up here and work here. And then you'll see if I do need an actual kitchen sink, I've got that collapsible silicone one right there. And then up top, I've got just a little car roof organizer. It attaches to all the handles. Unfortunately for me, because this was originally a 3-row SUV, there are handles where the third seat would have been. So these fit on all of the rear handles. And now I've got a nice little attic. So I keep brushes up there, lint rollers. I keep my pillows up there. So that way it's all tucked up and out of the way for when I'm not sleeping. Up here, I've just got a little magnetic light. This is USB-C chargeable, so I can recharge it with my battery. But this is great for at night for cooking. And then I've got another set of magnets up here. So if I want light kind of like over where my kitchen is, I can just move it up there. So here you'll see, these are the backpack straps for the trash bag. But you've also got this little guy right here. And what I did, and there's tons of videos on how to do this on the internet if you've got an SUV, is I hooked some paracord through to my trunk latch so that in the morning, if I want to get out of my back door, I can open my trunk from the inside just by pulling this. This is awesome. This is excellent. I had a friend, Michelle Rome's Wild. I'll link her page down below. She helped me install this. It was amazing. A game changer to be able to open my trunk from the inside. Also here, shameless plug, this is a sticker that I made myself. If you want one, go ahead and check out my store link down below. If you've got a Sequoia lover, a GX person, someone with a Toyota that they just love that isn't quite a Land Cruiser, go ahead and get them this sticker. I promise you, you won't regret it. It'll really put a smile on their face. So we've made it to the top of my Sequoia. And I forgot my key, hold on. So we've made it to the top of the Sequoia with keys in hand. Let me show you what I keep inside of my truck. This is probably the boring section, I'm sorry. So this is where I keep all of my tools. It looks like a mess, but I promise there's a method to my madness. Well, this isn't in the right spot, but there's a method to my madness. So I like to do all my own car maintenance. I'll do it out in the middle of the woods if I need to, if I have to. So I have everything that I need here to perform basic maintenance on my truck. Starting in the back, I've got an oil pan, I've got wheel chocks, and I've got one of those jump starters should I ever need it. I've got a kinetic recovery rope here. I've got some smaller rubber wheel chocks. I've got an extension cord. I don't know why I have one, but it feels necessary. I've never had to use it, but I do have it here. Up here, I've got just a little shovel should I need it. And then this is one of just those flat Tupperware bins that you can slide underneath a bed. This is where all of like the actual tools are. So I have my trailer hitch, funnels, grease gun, paracord, breaker bar, wrenches, zip ties, lubricants, rust penetrant, all that stuff is up here. And then on the other side, I don't know if you can see it, but that's where I keep fluid. So I've got a little bit of coolant, I've got some power steering fluid, I've got some extra oil should I need it. That's all on the other side. Kind of like where this shovel is, but just on the other side of the Tupperware. Moving up front, I've got a propane heater that just hooks up to my 1 pound propane tanks if I happen to be camping on a particularly cold night. I've got some extra windshield washer fluid. And then up at the very top, I've just got a bag full of detailing stuff for like the once in a blue moon that I do actually make it to a car wash and wash this thing. Okay. This thing's hard to close. It's very full. Now we've moved on to the back door. So I'm in like direct sunlight, but I think we got this. So moving on to the back driver's side door. This is like for utilities only. I don't like get in and out of here. If this was like a minivan, this would just be like a walled off section. This isn't designed for me to access. So, but let me show you what I got. So when my solar panels, which are out right now, are not being used, they fold up into this bag and they just sit nicely in vertical right here. So back here, I've just got one of those like mesh hampers that you probably had in college that just sits right back here. This is how I would access my air compressor if I needed to air up my tires. Oh gosh, okay. Weird lighting situation, but this is the last part of the video, I swear. So on this side of my bed setup, you'll see this lovely carpet that I have that you saw in the beginning of the video. And then you've got another hatch here. So in here, in this hatch, I keep medicine, towels, plastic bags, laundry detergent, water purification if I need to do that, medicine, I think I already mentioned medicine, shampoo, conditioner, all kinds of stuff. And again, I keep them in packing cubes because it's a great way to just keep things organized. And that's super cheap. Packing cubes are like next to nothing. Like I said, I've got the solar panels out right now. I don't know how much sun they're actually getting right now because I'm in the woods, but they're still doing their thing. And there you have it, folks, my frugal, low budget, stealth camper setup. I didn't break the bank to do this. I just got some plywood and some cheap materials on the internet. And I've got a fantastic home on wheels, if I do say so myself. So if you have any questions about my setup, let me know in the comment section down below. And don't forget, adventure is for everyone. If I can do it with this, then so can you. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.